So this week we have the Dimensional Trial Valley of Slaughter, and for some reason I'm still rank 15 with a simple tier 6 clear. So many of you seem to be struggling with this one. You ideally want to do it on tier 6 so you can get the chance for this extra golden chest. So I have a bit of a mechanics guide here. You can read through this if you wish, but I'll also talk you through it. You will want the usual setup, a tank, a healer, 4 DPS, and the first mechanic will begin when you get pushed back. Then the 2 furthest players will get cursed and stuck with this red beacon. One person needs to go next to them and then it creates this tether. Now don't do like we just did there, where we broke the tether. You have to bring that tether to the second trapped person to free them. So once you do that correctly and you have the first tether, you will then want to break it before you get the second tether. So when he pushes you back again, this time break that tether and then you'll reform it by freeing those 2 people. And this second one is very important to keep. You want to have it for the sheep phase. So the boss will enter a damage reduction phase. There's no point damaging him. These sheep will spawn and you want to bring those sheep over to the people who have the tether. We have 2 pins. We put the sheep through the tether and then when they get damaged by the tether, they will take a ton of damage over time and just get aggroed on the people who have the tether. And then you want to use the boss to help damage the sheep. And like so, you complete the mech, you interact here, and then you all create a shield on yourselves, and you won't take any damage when he jumps in the middle. A further note on this, those people who have the tether ideally want to stand on 1 and 2. I will go back here as this phase all happens pretty quickly as you need to. So you will have the people bring the sheep to the outside and across that line. As soon as they touch it, they'll take that damage. The tank needs to position the boss to charge straight through the sheep, while the people with the tether ideally don't block so that you both get pushed together. Then position yourselves again with the sheep so that when the boss charges the second time, the tank positions so that it's going to charge through them and you will correctly damage the sheep. And then you should be able to kill them in time to be able to get this shield. There's also another important thing to note. Even though we were able to interact right now, we go back, we wait for the meteors to drop, and then we go in and interact. Only the tank can stay and start interacting immediately. That's because those meteors will not be on the tank, the one who has threat. And those meteors, if they fall on that thing that you need to interact with, it will break it and make it disappear. The last mechanic here would be when a black sheep appears. When it does, you simply need to kill it in time. You can do so with the tether, otherwise it will explode and may kill you depending how much HP you have. You can see towards the very end here, we get that black sheep appearing. And yeah, we didn't even have to kill it, and we just killed the boss in time. And that was it. If you have really slow DPS, you may have to do the sheep phase again. So just assign 2 people to be the furthest away so that those are the 2 people that get pushed back and cursed. And then 1 person is assigned to create the tether with them. Then you have those 2 pins positioned right there in a line towards the center. And when you get this sheep mech, you have the ranged DPS bring the sheep as quickly as possible through the tether. It needs to go through the tether so that they're positioned correctly so that they will also get damaged by the charge. And while they're in the tether, they take a ton of damage. Without using the tether to damage the sheep, you probably will not have enough damage to kill them in time. And that's really it for the proper way to beat this boss. There is of course a cheese. Rather than bringing the boss to charge through the sheep, you can charge him at the wall. And once he hits the wall with the charge, he gets stuck there. And then you have all the time in the world to kill the sheep, since when he does the jump, he won't hit anybody if you're far enough away. So you won't take that damage and die, and you don't need then the shield for it. However, this is absolutely an exploit. It's an oversight by the devs. They've had over a year to fix that, but nonetheless, it is your risk whether you want to get banned for it. I would still recommend having the tether though to be able to actually damage the sheep. Just remember to break the first tether break it just as you get the second mech when you get the pushed out where you need to create the second tether. Otherwise you won't be able to create it properly. And just keep the tether by staying close to each other. So that's pretty much it. It's fairly straightforward once people are coordinated to know what they're doing. A last note would be the frost. When the boss roars and glows like this and lets out that big burst, you ideally want to have frost on the boss. This will reduce the amount of damage he outputs. If you're playing with crossbow, that's very simple. Switch Mother Nature's Protest over to frost. Done. A bunch of other classes have frost too. Even potentially your tank can have frost with Da Vinci's Chill. Just have one person assigned to apply that frost before he does that mech. Otherwise, squishy guys could end up getting one shot. And this is just a simple jump mech. And yeah, that's about it. You should easily be able to apply this for all the higher tiers as well. And the tier 1 version should be pretty straightforward, as if you're running the 2-star dungeon. However, the sheep will have over 3 million hit points. So if you want to do this legit, just have the tank or the person with aggro to charge at the sheep. And this will deal significant damage to it. So ideally you have the DPS like locking down the sheep, making it not run all over the place. And then you can interact with this thing. And then you get the shield. It's very simple. You could of course bug him in the wall if you really needed to. But again, that's an exploit and you potentially could get banned for abusing it. I do recommend doing it 21 times just on tier 1 to get these accumulated points, rewards, and ideally you would do it through the party matchmaking. But for me, it's bugging out. I queue up here, it pops, we accept, and then there's always 1 or 2 people who don't accept. And then if you try to cancel that queue like you normally should be able to after it failed, you still end up with a penalty. This is probably bugged and I don't think it's just me. But if you're going for fortune stones, it's best to open the chest at tier 5 or higher. So overall, thanks for watching. A special thank you to these channel members, and we'll see you guys around.